The old hotel stood tall and imposing. Its facade, a tapestry of peeling paint and weathered stone, hinted at countless stories whispered within its walls. A young businessman, Vishal, stood at the entrance, a nervous thrill coursing through him. He was here on a business trip, a welcome break from his mundane routine. Little did he know his life was about to take a terrifying turn. Vishal checked in, a sense of unease settling in his stomach. The receptionist, a frail man with eyes that seemed to hold centuries of secrets, handed him the key to room 306. Anything but 306, Vishal thought, having heard whispers and rumors about the room's sinister reputation. He brushed off the unease, attributing it to travel fatigue and the hotel's gloomy ambience. "It's just an old hotel," he muttered to himself, forcing a confident stride as he made his way to his room. The hallway to 306 was dimly lit, the silence punctuated by the creaking of the floorboards. With each step, the air grew colder, sending shivers down Vishal's spine. He reached the door, its brass handle tarnished with time, and paused. He could have sworn he heard a faint whisper, a sound like wind chimes rustling in the breeze, but there was no breeze inside the hotel. Taking a deep breath, Vishal unlocked the door and stepped inside. The room was spacious, but shrouded in an unnatural chill. The heavy curtains were drawn, casting the room in a perpetual twilight. He tried to shake off the uneasy feeling that had latched onto him. He was tired, he told himself, his mind playing tricks on him. Sleep, however, proved elusive. The room was unbearably cold, the temperature plummeting despite the warmth of the summer night. Vishal tossed and turned in the uncomfortable bed, the whispers he had heard earlier returning with a vengeance. They seemed closer now, swirling around him, pronouncements in a language he couldn't understand but felt in the depths of his being. Suddenly, a cold breeze swept through the room, ruffling the curtains despite the windows being tightly shut. The air grew thick with the scent of damp earth and decaying flowers, a cloying, nauseating aroma. Vishal sat up in bed, his heart pounding in his chest. Fear, primal and instinctive, gripped him. He fumbled for his phone, his hands trembling, but the battery, inexplicably drained, blinked a defiant red. As he lay there, paralyzed by fear, he heard it, a soft sob, mournful and filled with an unspeakable sadness. It seemed to originate from the far corner of the room, shrouded in shadows. He couldn't bring himself to look, to confirm the source of the heart-wrenching sound. The sobs grew louder, the despair in them palpable, echoing the growing terror in his own heart. Vishal couldn't take it anymore. He scrambled out of bed, his only thought escape. As he fumbled for the light switch, his gaze fell on the antique mirror hanging on the wall. For a fleeting second he saw it, a face, pale and gaunt, staring back at him from the reflection, its eyes filled with a chilling emptiness. He didn't wait to see more. He didn't scream, didn't dare breathe. He flung open the door and ran, his bare feet pounding on the wooden floor, the sobs and whispers echoing behind him. He raced through the deserted hallway, the darkness seeming to reach out for him, to pull him back to room 306. He didn't stop running until he reached the lobby, gasping for breath, his body trembling with terror. The night receptionist, his face a mask of indifference, looked up from his book. He seemed unsurprised by Vishal's dishevelled appearance, his fear-stricken eyes. "Not even staying the night?" he asked, a hint of amusement in his voice. "Room 306 does that to people." Vishal couldn't bring himself to speak, to articulate the horror he had experienced. He simply shook his head, gathered his belongings, and fled the hotel. He spent the rest of the night in his car, parked under the harsh glare of a streetlight, too terrified to even close his eyes. The events of the night played over and over in his mind, each playback amplifying the terror. The next morning he checked into a different hotel, a bland modern building that felt like a sanctuary. He learned later that room 306 had been sealed off for years, its door locked, its key missing. The story, as he pieced it together from whispered rumors and hushed conversations, was that a family had been murdered in that room decades ago, their spirits forever trapped within its walls. Vishal never forgot his night in room 306. It remained a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of